Because the moment word got out that Chrisean Rock had pulled up to Blueface's return party, the vibe didn't just shift, it snapped. What was supposed to be a celebratory comeback instantly turned into a real-life jump scare. The kind where music cuts, eyes widen, and people start moving like the building just caught fire. And then came the detail that sent the internet into overdrive. Jaidyn ran, not walked away, not stepped outside. Ran as an exit strategy activated. Heels barely touching the ground, party plans evaporated. And when that clip, that whisper, that rumor hit the timeline, the story stopped being about a party and turned into a full-blown reality show finale with no commercial breaks. Because if Chrisean showing up wasn't already enough drama, the reaction sealed it. This wasn't coincidence. This wasn't random. This was history colliding with ego, unresolved tension dressed in designer outfits, and a room full of people who knew exactly how ugly this situation could get. This didn't feel like gossip. It felt like a secret that slipped out when it wasn't supposed to. And once it did, the internet grabbed it, shook it, and demanded answers. This wasn't supposed to be messy. That's the funniest part. Blueface's return party was meant to be a controlled flex, a carefully staged I'm back moment wrapped in bass-heavy music and selective guest lists, a reset, a rebrand, a soft relaunch with loudspeakers. Everything about it screamed optics. Until the optics shattered because Chrisean Rock showed up. And the moment she did, the energy in the room reportedly flipped like someone pulled the emergency brake on a moving train. Conversations stalled, heads turned, phones paused mid-record. This wasn't just a surprise guest walking in late. This was unresolved history entering a room that was already pretending it didn't exist. Anyone who's followed this saga for longer than a week knows this isn't the kind of situation you casually bump into. This is baggage with legs, drama with a pulse, the kind of presence that doesn't need to say a word to make everyone uncomfortable. And that discomfort spread fast. Witnesses described the vibe shift as immediate. Smiles tightened, people stopped dancing and started watching. You could practically feel the mental math happening in real time. Who's here? Who's leaving? Who's about to be caught on camera standing in the wrong place at the wrong time? And then came the moment that turned a messy situation into a viral headline. Jaidyn left, not slowly, not discreetly, left in a way that sent the internet into full speculation mode. Whether she walked fast, bolted, or strategically exited doesn't even matter anymore. The narrative chose its word, and the word was ran. And once that word hit the timeline, the story wrote itself, because running implies urgency. It implies anticipation. It implies that something bad either just happened or was about to. The internet doesn't see a quick exit and think good judgment. It thinks incoming chaos. And suddenly, what should have been a comeback party became a countdown. Clips surfaced almost instantly. Shaky phone footage, partial angles, cropped videos with captions doing more storytelling than the visuals themselves. People replayed the same 3 seconds over and over, convinced they could decode the entire situation from posture and facial expressions alone. Was Chrisean confrontational, calm, smiling, silent, depending on who posted the clip? She was all for. The truth got stretched like taffy because ambiguity fuels engagement. And engagement is the only thing the internet respects. Speculation exploded. Some claimed Chrisean pulled up unannounced, ready to reclaim attention. Others insisted she was invited and just happened to arrive at the worst possible moment. A few went further, calling it a deliberate disruption, a power move designed to remind everyone that no return ever truly resets the past. And then there were the theories about Jaidyn. Was she avoiding confrontation, protecting her peace, or reacting to something said behind the scenes that nobody caught on camera? Every theory found an audience. None of them came with proof. That's the thing about moments like this. Facts become optional once emotion takes the wheel. Blueface's name was suddenly secondary in his own party narrative. The headlines weren't about the music, the return, or the vibe. They were about who showed up and who fled. Control slipped quietly but decisively. The night stopped being his comment sections turned into battlegrounds within minutes. Supporters of Chrisean argued she had every right to show up wherever she pleased. Critics accused her of intentionally stirring chaos. Fans of Jaidyn split into camps, one praising her for removing herself, the other accusing her of running from accountability. Nobody was neutral, and neutrality wouldn't have survived anyway. The memes followed because the internet processes tension through humor like it's a coping mechanism. Some compared the situation to a horror movie jump scare. Others likened it to reality TV finals where the cast walks in slow motion and everything explodes 5 seconds later. The jokes landed, then immediately felt uncomfortable because everyone knew this wasn't scripted. What made this situation feel heavier than usual was the history attached to it. This wasn't a one-off clash. This was years of public mess, private resentment, and unresolved emotion colliding in a single room. You don't just walk away cleanly from that kind of past. It follows you loudly, and let's be honest, the internet thrives on moments like this because they feel raw and planned, real. A party turning into a pressure cooker is far more compelling than any polished PR rollout. This was unpredictability in designer clothes, and everyone watching knew it. As the night went on, details got murkier instead of clearer. Some claimed security stepped in early, others said nothing happened beyond the tension. A few insisted words were exchanged off camera. Each version spread equally fast because certainty online doesn't require verification, just repetition. The silence from the main players only made things worse. No immediate explanations, no clarifications, just the internet filling in gaps with imagination and past grievances. Every hour without a statement made the story feel bigger, darker, more explosive than it might have actually been. And hovering over all of it was one undeniable truth. This party didn't go the way it was supposed to. The narrative slipped, the spotlight shifted, and whatever control existed at the start of the night was gone the moment Chrisean walked in and Jaidyn walked out. This wasn't resolution. This was ignition. Because when people start leaving instead of talking, it usually means everyone knows something the audience doesn't yet. And the internet hates nothing more than being last to know. If this was just the opening act, then whatever followed was guaranteed to be louder, messier, and far more personal. By the time the night bled into morning, the story had already evolved from party drama into a full-scale internet emergency. This wasn't just a clip anymore. It was a narrative, a spectacle, a collective obsession powered by shaky footage, conflicting eyewitness accounts, and the internet's favorite fuel assumptions dressed up as facts. TikTok lit up first because that's where nuance goes to get sacrificed for a 30-second hook. Reaction videos stacked on top of reaction videos like a house built on hot takes. Some creators whispered like they were leaking classified intel. Others shouted like they were hosting a reunion episode with no commercials and no shame. Everyone claimed to be breaking it down, but most were just remixing the same rumor with louder confidence and better lighting. Twitter, predictably, shows chaos. One side declared Jaidyn's exit a smart, self-protective move. The other framed it as panic, fear, or guilt. Pick your poison. Both sides racked up likes. Both sides acted like their version was obvious. Contradiction didn't slow engagement. It multiplied it. The platform thrived on the confusion like it always does. Then came the memes, because nothing processes tension faster than humor that lands 1 second too early. Some compared the moment to a horror movie jump scare, music playing, door creaks open, everybody freezes. Others joked that this felt like a reality TV finale where the wrong person walks in and producers immediately start sweating. The jokes flew, then stalled, because everyone could tell this wasn't scripted. There was no safety net, no reset button. What really pushed the story into overdrive was how people around the situation reacted, or very carefully didn't. No direct statements, no clean explanations, just vague posts soaked in plausible deniability. Protect your peace. Energy speaks louder than words. The kind of captions that sound deep while saying absolutely nothing. Fans clocked it instantly. Because silence in moments like this doesn't read as calm, it reads as strategy. The internet started tracking movements like this was a chess match. Who left early? Who stayed? Who deleted stories? Who turned comments off? Who unfollowed who overnight? Suddenly, normal social media behavior became evidence. The timeline doesn't just watch it audits. And then the speculation shifted from what happened to why it happened. People weren't just asking why Chrisean showed up. They were asking why that party felt fragile enough to implode the moment she did. Why one presence could trigger such a dramatic reaction. And whether the chaos was always there, just waiting for the right spark. Some fans argued Chrisean's pull-up was intentional, a statement, a reminder that no return is clean when unresolved history is still breathing. Others insisted she was invited, that the drama came from everyone else, projecting fear onto her presence. Both arguments spread equally fast, because the internet doesn't need truth, it needs tension. Jaidyn's exit became the centerpiece. People dissected it from every angle. Was it fear, strategy, self-respect, or just not wanting to be caught? In a moment that could turn ugly in seconds, every interpretation said more about the person posting it than the person leaving. And yet, the internet treated each theory like a revelation. Meanwhile, Blueface's return party narrative evaporated completely. The music didn't matter, the purpose didn't matter, the comeback didn't matter. The night had been hijacked by a storyline he couldn't control. And the internet loves nothing more than watching control slip in real time. Public outrage didn't wait for confirmation. It never does. Comment sections turned into morality trials. Some accused Chrisean of intentionally disrupting peace. Others accused Jaidyn of running from confrontation. Some blamed Blueface for allowing unresolved tension to exist in the same room. Everyone blamed someone. Accountability became a game of musical chairs. Pop culture comparisons flooded the discourse. People compared the scene to celebrity run-ins that spiraled out of control, to reality show ambushes where producers pretend to be surprised. Others joke that scripted drama wishes it had this level of tension because real chaos doesn't need a plot, it just needs proximity. The loudest voices weren't always the most informed, but they were the most confident, and confidence online spreads faster than correction. Soon, people who hadn't followed this saga closely were forming strong opinions based on 30-second clips and captions written to inflame. Context collapsed under virality. What made this phase especially volatile was the expectation of excess. Fans wanted answers immediately. They wanted statements. They wanted explanations. Silence was interpreted as guilt. Privacy was treated like defiance. The internet convinced itself it was entitled to closure, and entitlement only sharpened the hostility. Every hour without clarification made the story feel bigger, darker, more ominous. The tension didn't dissipate, it condensed. People refreshed feeds compulsively, not for updates, but for confirmation that their chosen narrative was winning. The story stopped being about a party and started being about power. And then there was the fear factor. Not fear of violence necessarily, but fear of unpredictability. Everyone watching could feel how quickly things could have gone left. That awareness sat heavy. This wasn't just drama. This was a reminder of how thin the line is between viral chaos and real-world consequences. By this point, the internet had fully turned the situation into a referendum on character, not actions, not facts, character. Who's dramatic? Who's calculated? Who's dangerous? Who's smart? Labels flew freely because labels make people feel like they understand something they can't actually see. The irony is that nothing officially happened on camera that night. No confirmed altercation, no explosive confrontation, and yet the fallout was louder than many situations where things actually went down. That's the power of implication. The suggestion of chaos is sometimes more intoxicating than chaos itself. The story reached a point where it couldn't escalate without consequences, and everyone felt it. The jokes flowed. The tone sharpened. The energy shifted from playful to uneasy. When the audience stops laughing, the spectacle starts to crack. Because now the question wasn't what happened, it was what does this change? And the answer to that question never stays contained. The party was over, but the narrative was just getting started. And whatever came next wouldn't be about who showed up or who left, it would be about what this moment exposed, when the clips stopped looping and the memes lost their punch. What remained wasn't clarity, it was residue, the kind that sticks to reputations and doesn't wash off with a statement or a well-timed post. That night didn't end with a confrontation, but it didn't need to. The damage was already baked in, because in the internet age, perception doesn't wait for proof, it just waits for a moment, and this moment gave it everything it needed. Blueface's return party was supposed to reset the narrative, a symbolic re-entry, a statement that whatever chaos came before was old news. Instead, the night rewrote itself into a cautionary tale about unresolved history and fragile optics. The celebration was overshadowed not by violence, but by tension so thick people could feel it through their screens. That's worse. Violence and stories, tension keeps them alive. For Blueface, the impact was subtle but sharp. His name trended, but not for the reasons anyone plans. The conversation wasn't about growth, music, or momentum. It was about who showed up, who left, and what that reaction implied. Control slipped quietly, and once control leaves the room, it rarely comes back on its own. Chrisean Rock's presence became the centerpiece of every interpretation. To supporters, her showing up wasn't chaos, it was confidence, a refusal to be erased from spaces she once shared. To critics, it was provocation dressed as coincidence, a reminder that unpredictability follows her like a shadow. Both sides talked past each other, not because they misunderstood, but because they were arguing about different versions of the same person. And that's the problem with public figures, whose lives unfold in fragments. The audience fills in the gaps with bias. Jaidyn's exit lingered longest in public memory, not because leaving is wrong, but because of how it looked: swift, decisive, and interested in sticking around to find out how ugly things could get. Some called it maturity, others called it fear. A few called it confirmation that something bigger was brewing beneath the surface. And once the internet assigns meaning to movement, the person moving loses control of the story. What followed was a slow recalibration of public sentiment, not outrage, not applause, something quieter: skepticism, fatigue. A sense that this cycle keeps repeating with different headlines, but the same underlying tension. Fans who once lived for the drama sounded tired. Commenters admitted they didn't enjoy watching this anymore. When entertainment starts feeling stressful, the audience doesn't cheer, it watches with unease. Behind the scenes, dynamics reportedly shifted. People became more careful about proximity, appearances, and association, because moments like this don't just affect the people at the center, they ripple outward. Suddenly, being in the same room becomes a liability. Being seen becomes a risk calculation. Silence becomes safer than explanation. And that's how reputations erode, not with scandals that explode, but with moments that make people pause before defending you. The influencer and celebrity ecosystem didn't escape untouched. This incident reignited a long-running conversation about how chaos is tolerated, even rewarded, until it threatens real consequences, about how parties, cameras, and unresolved personal histories create pressure cookers disguised as celebrations. Viewers started asking why these environments keep happening and why surprise pull-ups always feel like ticking clocks. Some framed the night as inevitable, a collision waiting to happen, the moment past and present shared air. Others saw it as preventable, another example of how people underestimate the weight of unresolved relationships. Either way, the takeaway was the same: this wasn't random, it was a symptom. What made the aftermath especially uncomfortable was the absence of closure, no dramatic follow-up, no explosive confession, just distance, everyone moving on publicly. While the internet held onto the moment like unfinished business, unanswered questions tend to age badly online. They don't disappear, they resurface. Chrisean Rock's image now exists in a more complicated space, not just chaos incarnate. But not easily dismissed either. Her presence alone now carries implication. Whether she intends it or not, that's a heavy thing to carry, because it means every future appearance will be scrutinized before it's understood. Jaidyn, on the other hand, became a symbol without asking to be one. Her decision to leave was interpreted as wisdom by some, weakness by others, and strategy by many. In reality, it may have been none of those things. But once the internet decides you represent something, your actual intent becomes irrelevant, and hovering over all of it is the realization that nothing technically happened. No confirmed altercation, no viral blow-up caught in full, and yet the consequences feel real. That's the power of implication in a culture addicted to narrative. Sometimes the suggestion of chaos does more damage than chaos itself. This moment changed how people watch it, added tension to future appearances. It planted doubt in celebrations. It reminded everyone that history doesn't disappear just because the music is loud. And that unresolved stories don't need dialogue to resurface, they just need proximity. The party ended. The night moved on. But the internet doesn't forget moments where it senses something narrowly avoided. Those moments linger. They become reference points. They get brought up the next time anything even remotely similar happens, because now every return comes with a question mark. And that's the real fallout. Not a fight, not a scandal, but the feeling that the next time these worlds collide, people won't be surprised. They'll be waiting. All right, now I need you to step into the chaos, because moments like this don't end when the party does. If this whole situation made you pause, rewind clips, or ask yourself why everyone suddenly started acting nervous, smash that like button like it personally killed the music and turn the lights on. No mercy. Let it feel your confusion. Jump straight into the comments and tell me what you think really happened. Did Chrisean Rock showing up instantly change the energy? Or did people already know the night was fragile before she even walked in? Was Jaidyn leaving a smart move, a panic response, or just someone refusing to be part of a mess waiting to explode? Pick a side or explain why both sides are wild. I want real takes, not copy-paste opinions. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button right now, because this channel doesn't wait for drama to age like milk. We break it down while it's still hot, still messy, and still making the internet uncomfortable. When parties turn into pressure cookers and silence gets louder than words, this is where the dots get connected. Turn on notifications so you don't miss what comes next, because let's be honest, stories like this never end. At one event, they resurface, they escalate, and suddenly everyone pretends they didn't see it coming. We stay ahead of that curve. And remember, this wasn't just about who showed up or who left. It was about tension, history, and how fast a celebration can turn into a countdown when unresolved drama walks into the room. This is Celeb Sync, where one moment links every headline, and the vibe tells the story before